Anybody who doesn't belong in a certain community seems to find a home here.
My beloved grandmother, she used to tease me. So you going into the woods looking for that booger man? Yes, ma'am, I am.
Bigfoot is something that's real in the American psyche. And I think for most people, Bigfoot is a joke.
Here is Dr. Grover Krantz, physical anthropologist at Washington State University, which explains his view.
As a physical anthropologist, I've decided that these creatures do, in all likelihood, exist.
Hi. And we're at the Ohio Bigfoot Conference.
That was the one.
That was good.
I think I might have seen one time through a thermal imager. I found tracks. I've smelled them on a couple occasions.
Basically, I got bored and I filmed myself doing a howl. My howls were rather notorious, but anyway.
People mess everything up, and I feel like the whole Bigfoot thing's starting to get messed up too. It's like take a look around. It's a commercial thing. I'm really into underground stuff, guys.
The Bigfoot community in general is kind of like a visit to the Island of Misfit Toys.
Diverse?
Diverse.
Well, weirdos is, of course, gonna pop in my mind.
We're a bunch of freaks and weirdos, but you know what? We have one thing in common, is that we love Sasquatches.
How many hours would you estimate that you've spent looking for Bigfoot?
God. I don't know. 1,000? A lot. Yeah.
What does your wife think about it?
She's not really into it. But it was later in life. I was partying a lot, drinking and stuff. It was just like, I got nothing going on, I'm pretty sure these things are real. Like, I'll just go to the woods, I'll find Bigfoot, I'll film one, and then that's it. That's all I have to do for the rest of my life. I'm set,
This gentleman was once a Golden Gloves champion for the United States Navy. He served his country faithfully in the Korean War. He's also been a deputy sheriff. He's provided security protection for people like Barbara Mandrell, Willie Nelson, Helen Reddy. And he's one of the most humble guys on this planet. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the godfather of Bigfootry, Bob Gimlin!
My nephew said, Uncle Bob, do you realize what the magnitude of that film really is? And I said, well, no, it's just film footage. And yes, there's been a few people interested in it and a lot of people saying it's a hoax.
The footage was submitted to experts in various fields. Among them was Janis Prohaska, active in the motion picture industry since 1939 as an impersonator of animals of the ape family.
That looked to me very, very real. I'm doing all this since 1939. If that was a costume, that was the best I have ever seen.
Mm-hmm. I'm very fortunate to not only know Bob Gimlin, but to love Bob Gimlin. He's a good friend of mine. He's literally camped in my backyard in a tent. That's one of the best nights of my life. I invite Bob Gimlin. I would invite him in my own bed. I wouldn't even leave it. Yeah, I love that man.
Do you ever wonder why you're the one that saw him, that has the real footage, if that has any meaning beyond, about why Bigfoot's here?
Well, in my own mind, I believe that. There's a guy down in Pendleton, Oregon. He's a little different than the average person, but he maintains that there would have never been one there had I not been there. I really don't feel like I should go into some of the things that he tells me about from other planets, and we call them UFOs, and he calls them ships.
There's a lot of people out there that are on the paranormal end, and then there's a lot of people that are like me on the flesh and blood end.
So I believe in the flesh and blood type. I don't think it's any alien or ghost or spiritual paranormal aspect. I believe in the hard scientific evidence.
Yeah, those guys are kooks.
Yeah, so it's probably a Gigantopithecine.
There are other people that put a little bit supernatural spin on it. My opinion is it's lazy research, because that's how mankind has been explaining the unknown from day one. I can't see past the horizon. Well, that's because the Earth is flat.
Which it is.
Well.
early, I guess 1980s, we had a sighting.
What did he look like?
This one was white, and it looked like the Wampa from Star Wars. They have all these sightings of this white Sasquatch creature called sheep squatch.
That's the first I've heard of that.
Yeah, they say they got these little protrusions look like horns.
A white Sasquatch, possibly with horns.
Now that one I have not heard of. I know there's a lizard man.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
As creepy as Bigfoot is, Dogman is a lot scarier than Bigfoot. Dogman is basically like your movie stereotypical werewolf. It looks like a giant wolf that'll either have paws or humanoid hands, and it walks around on its hind legs, which are still dog-like, kills things, kills dogs, comes up and actually turns doorknobs.
My cat used to be able to turn the doorknob, so
I saw an alligator.
I don't know if
right
that's
now.
really, you know.
Where do you stand on Dogman?
I still have time for that. You know, it's like I'm focusing on the Bigfoot thing.
Now believe me, I don't want dogmen to be real. I really don't. They scare the hell out of me. For some reason, giant ape men in the woods doesn't bother me nearly as much as giant dog men in the woods. Now, luckily, I don't have time to look into it.
I don't really understand why they would have them, but you know, we also have Pope Lake Monster. It's a goat man. A lady just got killed looking for the goat man.
A lady just got killed looking for the goat man.
She went to Waverly Hills, and they decided while they were waiting for a tour, they'd go up and walk around, and they went up on the tracks. The train came around the corner, which is usually what goat man's MO is. Get you up to the tracks, distract you, train comes along and it kills you.
Why is that his thing?
Why would a goat man do anything?
You were at Esteban Sarmiento's lecture today.
I was.
Tell us about what happened, a little bit about that.
I don't even know where to begin. It was weird.
It started out okay, but then it just went downhill really fast.
There's a lot of like weird sexual things involved. Pictures of the marmots doing it.
Did you receive any grief from some of the slides that you showed?
Why would I receive grief from the slides I showed?
So we have like Sasquatch in the White House.
And he compared several African-American celebrities to Sasquatch. Very unflattering picture of Serena Williams next to the Patterson-Gimlin film subject.
I see some similarities, but right away, the resemblances to proportions.
What did they like? They didn't like that.
I might use the word offended, but...
What were they offended by?
Well, for example, didn't you show a picture of Michelle Obama? And
Well, that came off the internet, I think. Like, I just went and picked up what I found on the internet, images of Bigfoot. And so, like, I wanted to show that a lot of that was just derisive. But what you get are jokes about Bigfoot.
So these are
and that's
random,
what those three slides.
So these are random images when you went to it.
When you put Bigfoot in image, those are the things you pull out. And a lot of it is, you know, a joke.
But when you saw like Michelle Obama.
Well, that's what came up.
I know, but were you like going, this isn't.
But what am I going to, I mean, it's honest.
Said,
I'm going to take that out and put something else.
I'm on images, and I still haven't found,
Well,
you know,
I
a
mean,
Michelle
what can I say?
Obama or a Venus Williams or...
You know, I had to get the images that have to do with, you know, making a joke of Bigfoot.
Yeah. You had it compared to three black women.
Obviously, Bigfoot seems to be black. I mean, the majority of people that have reconstructed it do not show it white in color.
I actually got up and laughed. That's just not how we do this here at Ohio Bigfoot Conference or in the Bigfoot community.
My wife didn't come, but I actually texted her and it's like, I feel like this is racist.
Esteban is the Michael Richards of Bigfooting.
I don't think Esteban's a racist, but it's just an example of his poor judgment, which is the same judgment that says there's no such thing as a Bigfoot. So that's pretty damning evidence.
Woo! I just wanted to know what the truth was. I don't care if it hurts someone's feelings. What's the truth? What's going on? And you realize after a while you're never going to get to the bottom of it, probably.
You know, I sat across at dinner last night and the guy talked to me about it. When he was a little boy, he played with a juvenile one, like it was his next door neighbor kid. Well, I'm not going to say he didn't. I hope he did.
Well, I still believe in Bigfoot, don't care what they say. Still believe in apple pie and the good old USA. I still believe in Bigfoot, don't care what they say. Still believe in apple pie in the good old USA.
Hi, we're in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, home of the Mothman.